Callum from TableTopBanter, and in today's video we are going to talk a little bit more about my Kikarian Crimsons. Okay, so obviously I've been doing lots and lots of updates for the Kikarian Crimsons. You've seen the 1500 point army, you've seen all the models that have gone into that, bar the Land Raider, because that still needs a little bit of finishing. And I wanted to talk more about the development of the army in terms of why I picked what I picked, sticking with the fluff that I'm writing, and any future plans for things like fluff and building up my collection. So what I want to start with is the fluff. Now, I'd like to take this moment to bring your attention to the fact that, of course, I have written the book. It's been out for a little while now. I know that some people have read it and they've enjoyed it. I would encourage you to go and check it out. It's only a short novella, not even. It's a short story, handful of pages long. I'm sure you can read it in a day, no problem. It is crash landing on Kikarius. It is on the Tabletop Banter blog page. Link is in the description below to the blog page, so go and you'll find it from there. It's in our grey library section. So please feel free to go and have a read of that, and you'll get a better feel for the army when you see them on the tabletop. Now, in terms of the fluff, in a general overview, they are a small sub-chapter of the Crimson Fists, as you all well know, hence why the colours. They live on an icy planet with a sort of rocky inside hive planet feel, and hive cities are few and far between that are populated, and they're trying to really build up this kind of army to go and help out other chapters of the Imperium. Now, in the first story, spoiler alert, so you've got 3 seconds to just pause and then block your ears until I do this with my hands. So in the first book, they took on the Imperial Fists and they drove back a chaos horde of Nurgle with demon princes and some super cool stuff with the council, inevitably ending up in saving an Imperium planet, helping out some guard and some Imperial Fists in the process. So there you go. That's the warning over. You can now unmute. And basically, I'm hoping to get a second book out in the series, if you like, a series of short stories, kind of explaining different bits of fluff. So if anyone has read the Dark Angels Compendium of books by Gav Thorpe, I am hoping to do something similar with my Kikarian Crimsons. Eventually, I will collate these into a collection of short stories for you to enjoy. So progressing on from that story, the idea being we've got the council, we've got the 5 key characters in the council: Calcius Crosium, Dorgon Tavarius, Hargor Harewood, we have Faron Balthazar, and also, oh come on, you named him, Kador Brenganen. There we go. So those are the key characters in the council. Now, when I go to increase the size of my army, you're going to see a progression in how many scouts I'm taking still, because it is a scout-heavy army being a young chapter. Now you're also going to see, hopefully, another 10-man tactical squad in a Rhino. So basically, the list I have now duplicated, fair enough, pretty much, but with a couple of flyers, because I want some of the Storm Talons. They look cool. And maybe a couple of other toys as well. But the main principle is not many elite units. So we're not going to have any Terminators, because I've got a Deathwing army for that. We're not going to have too many Tacticals, because I've got my Greenwing Dark Angels for that. So I kind of wanted to have something a bit different, a bit fun to play, fits the story I'm writing. Now, other plans for development of fluff and development of story, it's going to be looking into filling out some of the formations using different parts from different chapters. Now, that might sound kind of odd and a little bit out there in terms of like, oh, that's kind of unusual, why would you do that? Well, my reason being, I am planning on having multiple stories coming up, obviously, and I want the characters from those stories in other armies to be made as well. Prime example, Librarius Conclave. Hargor Harewood is the only librarian in the Kikarian Crimsons, so I can't have a conclave. But there's nothing stopping him from leading other librarians from other chapters, which maybe we pick up, maybe we nurture with Hargor, maybe they're assigned to him to make sure he can learn the sort of ins and outs of the warp a little bit better instead of just using his natural talent. So, for example, I am really looking to make White Scars and an Imperial Fists one, just model-wise. They'd still probably run as Imperial Fists, even the White Scar guy, but I want him to have the different shoulder pad. I want it to have that feel with it, because I always kind of fancied having a little bit of White Scar in there. It's a little bit something a little bit different, and not on a bike, because I'm just not interested in that for the entire Librarius Conclave. And also, I would like the Imperial Fist one in there, maybe for some story development later on. Who knows? Basically, that's open to discussion yet. But I want the army to build with the books. So in this first one, we've seen siege defense, we've seen the council in action, and we have seen the kind of scout corps in the book that I will be writing, hopefully for the summer. There'll be further development of that and allies and what they fight against, etc., etc. So lots hopefully to come for this. And now, because I've built it up to 1500 points, I am kind of happy with where it is at the moment. So you may not get lots and lots of updates on Kokarian Crimsons just yet. I'm going to revisit some of my Dark Angels, really try and pump out my Deathwing a little bit better, and potentially expand the Ravenwing collection. And of course the Green Wing, get some Grav in there because I love Grav. Well, I say I love it. I think it's cool, and I don't want it in my Kokarian Crimson's overload, but I would overload my Dark Angels with it because that's fun. And in terms of other builds, other armies will obviously take a higher precedence over this one at the moment, as I am at a playable level with it. So I hope you've enjoyed the 6-month series so far. Obviously, I have taken it from, one drop pod to a 1500 point army. It has taken me a while. I have been trying to juggle studies and models at the same time, and the other numerous armies I've built in that time as well. But I do hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you'll continue to enjoy it as it does continue further down the line when I revisit building up this army. I just want to say thank you ever so much for all the support you've given. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment in the comments section below. Would be really interested in hearing your thoughts. What armies do you want to see in the next book? Please feel free to send me messages or emails, or leave in the comments below what kind of fluff you want to see, what kind of development you want to see in the Kokarian Crimsons. Not saying I'll necessarily do it, but I would love to hear your thoughts because that will inspire me. So it's been me, Callum from TabletopBanter. Thank you ever so much for watching. Don't forget, have fun.